Two world titles on the line, a rematch we've been waiting for since May, and the return of a legend. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mittons MMA. I am your host, the one and only Royden Mitten, also known as Chael Jr. Tonight we're going to be talking about UFC 186 live in Montreal, Quebec, Canada on April 25th. This pay-per-view kicks off with Yves Jabron taking on Thomas Almeida. He's a good fighter, he's got good head movement. He's going to be the fan favorite coming out of Canada, trains out of the TriStar gym. For the key to him from winning this fight is he's got to stay out of the pocket. He's got to avoid those heavy shots from Thomas. Because Thomas, he's a shark. This guy's an animal. He trains out of the shoot-the-box camp. He can take a hard hit, and he's got solid wrestling defense. He's got fantastic hips. But I feel like Yves going to get caught pretty early in this fight. I think Thomas is just going to be too fast, too strong. And Thomas is going to let loose and probably put Yves out in the first round, I feel. You know, if Yves... He needs to be smart in this fight. He's got to be technical and avoid those shots. But like I said, I think Thomas is going to take this probably in the first round. We're going to see a quick knockout, probably 4 minutes into the fight. Right after that, we got Michael the Count Bisping taking on CB Dollaway. Both these guys are coming off devastating losses. Dollaway is coming off the loss to Lyoto Machida with that vicious body kick. And Michael Bisping is coming off the loss to Luke Rockhold with the submission win. I feel the key to this victory for Bisping is he needs to keep his head clear. You know, his last couple of fights, he's been too emotional and he hasn't been thinking clearly in his fights. You look at his fight with Luke Rockhold. He was just taking these big shots. He wasn't thinking, he wasn't, working his footwork or his jabs or his head movements. And Luke picked him apart and used him as a punching bag. So I think that's going to be what Bisping's going to look for in this fight. He's got to work that jab. He's got to use his cardio, take his time, work those knees in the clinch, break down CB Dollaway, and try to look for that knockout. But as long as he keeps his head clear, I think he's going to take this fight. But Dollaway, I feel he doesn't have as much to lose as Bisping. If Dollaway loses, he's just going to go back to the prelims, work his way back up to the pay-per-views. Bisping, on the other hand, though, he loses his fight, people are going to really start looking at Bisping differently. He's never beaten a big name. He's always, crushed at the big names. Luke Rockhold, Tim Kennedy, Vitor Belfort, Sugar Rashad Evans, Chael Sonnen. If he loses to a guy like Dollaway, he's got to start reconsidering some things. Maybe a new camp or potentially a new career. Who knows? But I feel like Bisping's going to take this fight. As long as Bisping uses his jab, takes his time, works the body, breaks him down, he's going to take this fight. And I think he's going to take it 30-27. After that, welcome him home. Rampage Jackson coming back to take on Fabio Maldonado in the light heavyweight division. I feel like it's going to be a barn burn. It's going to be an exciting fight for the fans. Chances are, when that bell rings, the two of them are just going to stand toe-to-toe and swing until someone gets dropped. Rampage has got to win this fight, though, in my opinion. He absolutely has to. And not because this is a big opponent, but the fact that he's coming from Bellator and he was beating the top guys there, beating King Mo. He comes over to UFC, and if he loses to a guy that's not even the top 10, he's going to look ridiculous. He's going to look foolish. And this could be the it for him if he loses this fight. So he's got to win this fight. He's got to show that he's still hungry and he still belongs in the top 10 of the division. The key to the victory, though, I feel for this fight is who is going to be the better boxer. And what I mean by that is that chances are when they get in there, they're just going to be swinging these big haymakers, these vast, massive hooks, and just try to knock them out. If one of them decides to start fighting intelligently, using a jab, working the body, countering is going to be a big one, I feel, in a fight like this because of these big shots. Eventually, you'll break their opponent down and knock them out. But I don't feel either one of them will do it, but I feel like that would be the best way for a strategy to win this fight against these guys because they're going to be looking for those huge shots. Rampage has got 16 KOs. Fabio has got 14. I don't think either one of them is going to look for a takedown and try to submit the opponent, but they're just going to try and look for that big finish, and I feel Rampage is going to take this fight. I don't think he's going to knock him out, but I feel like he'll go to the card. But he's going to do enough, though, to win decisively. I could see a 30-27 for Rampage. After that, we got our first title fight of the night, Koji Haraguchi, and he's going to be taking on Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson for the world title. I think Horiguchi's got a better chance than people think. He's got that the karate style fighting. He fights a lot like Lyoto Machida. He does that lunging and fencing kind of attacks. And I think that's going to help against a guy like Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse is going to want to get in close, work that power double, take him down, rough him up, and go for the submission. But if Horiguchi can use that karate style to stay away from him and, get inside, work the jabs quick, and bounce out, he could take this fight potentially by decision or even potentially knock him out. But I don't know if he's going to have that kind of skill yet to fight a guy like Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse right now is probably one of the best fighters we're looking at in the world. He's lightning fast. He's got good takedowns. He's got good submissions. He's got 4 KOs, 8 in submissions. He's just an all-around fantastic fighter. And I feel like that's why he's going to take this victory again, is that because of that just all-around greatness, he's such a complete mixed martial artist. He's got, such great cardio, great speed. He's fantastic. And for him to win this fight, he's just got to do what Mighty Mouse does best. Work the takedowns, work the speed, get him down, go for a submission, which he's probably going to get, in my opinion. I feel like second or third round, we're going to see a submission. So I think maybe the third round, we're going to see a Kimura or an armbar, what I'm feeling. But for Horiguchi to win this fight, he's got to just use that style, that karate style of lunging in and out, and just get Mighty Mouse frustrated, stuff his takedowns, and try to knock him out. I think that's his best chance is on the feet, in my opinion. And then we come to the main event of the evening. TJ Dillashaw taking on Renan Barão for a rematch we've been waiting for since May. It's going to be a fast-paced fight, I believe. I think both these guys are going to go in there and try to prove something. Dillashaw's got to prove to the fans. A lot of people think that it was just a fluke win for him, that he got lucky and tagged him and he couldn't recover. TJ's got to prove that was no fluke. That was that hard work and determination and skill to put Barão down. But Barão's got to prove, though, that he's still one of the best in the world. And he's got to also prove that it just was a bad night for him. And I think probably the biggest thing was that nobody had a thought that Dillashaw was really going to beat him. Everyone and their mother thought Barão was just going to clown him in the first round, and we were completely wrong. And I think that might have been a factor, the fight, that was that complete underestimation of how Dillashaw can be an effective fighter. Barão can win this fight, though. Barão has the skills and the tools to beat him. I think the big thing he should try to do is potentially get that takedown, which obviously easier said than done considering TJ's never been taken down in the UFC. But if he could get Dillashaw down and work for a submission, there's a very good chance he could submit him. He's got 15 submission wins out of his 32 wins. So if he can get him down, work for that, good chance he'll get that title back. But he's also very creative on the feet, though, too. Like, if fight with Uriah Faber in their first fight, he was like bouncing off the cage, working knees, spinning wheel kicks. Like, he's just so creative and so unpredictable, which he needs to do that, I feel, to win this fight against Dillashaw. But Dillashaw's, again, got a good chance, I think, to win this fight again. He's just got to do what he did in the first fight. He can't get arrogant, though. He can't get cocky. He can't be doing the foot shuffling he was doing in his last fight with Joe Soto. He's got to just go in there and fight smart. Be fast, quick, work angles, power shots, hit the body, just break Barão down and knock him out again, which I feel is going to happen again. I feel like he's going to knock him out. I've noticed there's been in 2 other fights before where the big underdog won the title and had that immediate rematch. They won again. You look at BJ Penn versus Frankie Edgar. Frankie took it twice. Weidman against Silva. Nobody thought Weidman even had business to be in the ring with Anderson, and he beat him again. And I think we're going to see that again. I think Barão's just not going to expect that again from TJ. TJ's a good fighter. I hope I really would like to see him win because of the fact that I would like to see people start giving respect to a fighter like TJ. Even though TJ in his last few interviews and stuff like that has been a little arrogant, but I think Dillashaw's got a good chance to win this fight. I think he's going to probably knock him out I'd say in the second round. Maybe I think it's going to be a quick fight, but who knows? I could be wrong on all these picks, or I could be completely right because I'm just a fan. But thank you so much for listening on Mittens MMA. Until next time, good night.